Togbe, I want you to educate the world or the black race to embrace their belief system.
Okay, the question is, um, you're asking to educate the black race to embrace so that they'll be able to embrace their own culture, tradition, religion, and what have you without fear or favor. All right. This is not going to take a day. As a matter of fact, that's what we're doing now. We are already educating our brothers. More so, we educate our brothers. We're educating the whole world. But what I will add as answer to that question is that fear, the word fear, Fear, fear subdues hope. Fear is an enemy to hope. Where there is fear, there cannot be any hope, or working hope, or living hope. Fear is so dangerous that you fall prey to anything before even you realize that you need not. Fear tells you that you don't have the strength to act. Fear tells you that you cannot act, you cannot do anything. Fear is a dangerous, contagious disease that we have to run away from, or do all we have not to entertain fear. Why am I talking about fear? When the enemy comes in, the enemy with the intention to destroy you comes in or comes around you, he will first point out your weak point, the areas in which you know they know that, or the enemy knows that you are vulnerable. These are the areas is going to capitalize on, telling you, you see, you know you can do this. You know your ancestors were slaves, and you are a slave child born in slavery. Uh, you know you were denied so many things by your slave masters, and they are still finding ways to discourage you to do this. You cannot go to school, you don't have the money, and all kind of things. That's the strategy the enemy is using to discourage you from stepping up, of muzzling any strength to go up, or to master your own self, to see if you have the character, you have the ability, you have the strength of rising to do anything for yourself. Because the enemy always wants you to be dependent. The enemy strategy or uh, end of result is to take away the power of independence from you. Because the more independent you are, the less reliant you become. The more independent you are, the less dependent you are. So you know things that are around you, you can take and use for yourself. Yourselves, freedom, ultimate freedom. So if we, black folks, can take away fear from our lives, fear from our daily living, fear for our fellow human being, fear for that we can't do this, we have never tried it, we can't do it. Our fathers, our mother did not do it, so we also can't do it. Fear that if the law of the slave master tells a black woman to go against a black man, a black boy, call the police, let them take the black boy to the jail, and the black woman will be receiving a monthly check, welfare check. All these things, what's going to happen is it's going to stagnate you. It's going to keep you down, because that is the ultimate goal of the enemy. To stifle you, so that the power of a stigmatization, that a black man cannot do anything. A black man should always live on welfare check, arms. Blacks from the continent should always be going to the IMF, going to the World Bank, going to this country, that country for loan. And when the loan is brought down to that country, on the continent of Africa, the big black slave masters, listen to me very carefully, the big black slave masters. It's unfortunate that in the continent of Africa we have a slave master which is more dangerous than the white slave master. Our leaders are behaving as if they are slave masters and we are slaves under them. They get the loan, and what they do, they misuse it, share it among themselves, and use little for any social work which cannot suffice. So the whole population is still in poverty. And we are becoming statistics all the time. So my education to my people is fear. That fear will take away from us. We will be bold. And then we have to have a religious freedom. Because of fear, we are not able to have our religious freedom. If we have religious freedom, then there are certain ethics, certain things, the way our ancestors taught, the way they line their laws and rules and regulations that governs the community, the society, their cities. Then if we put ourselves under these disciplines, then our total freedom is really coming. But if we do not have our religious freedom, from which these things I am lining up came, and we are still in other people's religion, then we will always be slaves. If we are in other people's religion, we care about other people's religion, we pay allegiance to other people's religion, then we will still remain religious slaves. That's another kind of slavery. Then we cannot win this war of social suppression. We have to work hard to emancipate ourselves from these religious slavery, from our mental, the way we are thinking. So let's change our mind. Let's change the way we think. Let's change the way we love things. Let's change the way we hear things. Let's change the way we speak about things. We talk about things. And let the way we do all these things geared to our total religious emancipation, total spiritual emancipation. And this spirituality should not be based on other people's concept. It should be based on African indigenous concept. Thank you.